All right, so I tested out the new AI agent function inside of Zapier, and it was a complete nightmare, guys. I'm going to show you real quick what happened. The original intention of this video was to do a live build and show you guys how to use it, but that resulted in about 45 minutes of me banging my head on my keyboard and ultimately giving up. Now, we've been building automations inside of Zapier for the last 10 years, and we are very, very good with Zapier. We also use N8N for AI agents, and we're very skilled at doing that inside of our organization. So for me to get stuck on such a simple task with Zapier, honestly, was quite a disappointment. So I'm going to show you in a moment where we got stuck, what the benefits maybe of a tool like this, and where Zapier is falling short inside of the AI game. Now, one of the benefits of Zapier is it has tons of connections. It's connected to, hundreds of, thousands of tools. Whereas N8N, you have to do a lot of API calls if you want it to work with certain applications. Now, the second benefit potentially would be that they used the idea of an LLM model to prompt the building of the agent. But that has extreme limitations, and it also has a lot of hallucinations. So basically, two very similar prompts will get you two completely different results, and there's no way to really put guardrails on that. So what had happened is I wanted to create a daily meeting prep summary. So it would go in, it would review my Google Calendar, it would identify what meetings are actually on there, and then break those down, create a summary, and send it over to Slack. A super, super simple AI agent and task. Now, what happened when we started to do this, the first time I prompted it, in Slack, it turned out very, very good. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. And as you can see inside of Slack, this message came through. Now, the prompt I had used for this was pretty straightforward. It said, review my entire day's calendars for upcoming events, analyze each event, the attendees and titles, and then create basic summary for each. Write 3 questions that will help me prepare for each meeting, and then send this to Slack with a simple and readable format. Pretty straightforward task. Okay. Now, the secondary agent, and I'll explain why I did 2 of these, is right here. And if we come into this one and we want to configure it, it was review my Google Calendar every morning for upcoming meetings, write a general synopsis, write 3 questions that will help me prepare for meetings, format the message in Slack, and then send it to a Slack specific channel. So nearly the same prompt. When I did it the first time, it sent over to Slack. It looked beautiful. It was super simple. It actually worked pretty well. And it only took, a few minutes. Now, all you have to do is write the instructions and then add your tool. So you click insert tools, and then you just add a tool here. If you're not already connected to a tool, then you just have to log in. For ChatGPT, you just have to drop your API key in there. It's pretty straightforward. Now, the problem here is it seems like they are trying to make this for super beginners, but Zapier itself, most people are pretty decent at automations if they're using Zapier, and anyone wanting to build an AI agent, is already kind of, on the next level. So there has to be some middle ground here. This shouldn't be just for absolute basic users that basically a monkey could do it. So when we come into the second one, what had happened is I tried to record a YouTube video, and I was doing a live build, and I wrote a prompt almost identical to the one that actually worked. And you can see that here. So if we come back into that original prompt, we're going to click run behavior and then click on this guy right here. Very similar prompt. It ran. It took a while to run. It is very, very slow, guys. That is another thing to note, is the language model processes for what seems like forever for a simple task. Now, once it did this, it spit out this giant block of text, which I would not consider formatted for Slack, compared to this first message. Now, you can reply inside of here and it'll iterate on itself. So I basically said, hey, it seems like you sent that in a big HTML block to Slack. How do we get it formatted better? Okay. Now I said, I understand, feedback saved. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But here's where the problem came in. It sent 1, 2, 3, 4 messages. It took about 8 minutes to actually run through this. And then this was the next iterations. Okay. Boom, 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 which is not very good. Now, it also made a decision to break up the meeting summaries into 3 separate messages, which I did not ask it to do. I just wanted it to be in a message format like the first one. Okay. So I responded, I want it all in one message. The current format is not readable at all, and it seems that you're not using native formatting options like bullets, bold text, and line breaks for better readability. So then it thought for a second, and this is where it got really, really bad. It then iterated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Okay. And this took over 3 hours to complete. 3 hours, which is absolutely insane. And the result after waiting for that was this. As you can see, it's exactly the same. Nothing changed. It's still in this complete, trash format. And the problem is I cannot tell it what to do, unlike N8N. N8N, you can use an output parser. You can tell it exactly how to input that data or output that data. And in here, you're limited to just by talking to it and trying to get it to do what you want. And it doesn't seem very intelligent right now. Now, who could this be good for in the future? It's a cool concept to use an LLM and build a workflow, but clearly we are not at that point yet, at least with whatever backend Zapier is using. So I'm looking forward to the improvements as they get this out of beta, but for a customer facing release, even as beta, I was really unimpressed. I mean, it was rendered almost entirely useless. We're going to test more with it in other agents and see what it can do, but not a great first experience from Zapier, and they are already behind the AI game. So if you're looking for a better solution in the meantime, I highly recommend checking out N8N. We have other videos on our channel where, we do live builds and we break down how to build things inside of N8N, and you will see how much better on the eyes it is, how much more optionality you have. Now, it is a little more complex, but that complexity is what prevents things like this from happening in the current state of AI and AI agents and automation. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and leave a comment below, like, subscribe, check out our other videos, and we'll see you on the other side.